Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something fascinating: the power of words in attraction. You see, the right words spoken with confidence and intention can do more than just capture a woman's attention. They can spark curiosity, create emotional connections, and even shift the dynamic in your favor. Most men rely on generic compliments, but in this video you will learn 6 powerful phrases that set you apart from the crowd. These aren't pick-up lines or empty flattery. They're psychological triggers that make you more intriguing, attractive, and desirable in a woman's eyes. And trust me, the final phrase is a game changer, yet almost no men use it correctly. So stick around until the end. You won't want to miss it. Phrase 1. You have a unique way about you. I like that. Most men make the mistake of complimenting a woman the same way everyone else does. They tell her she is beautiful, has a nice smile, or looks fantastic in a dress. While these words may be appreciated, they are also expected, predictable, and forgettable. When women hear the same compliments repeatedly, they lose their impact. But when a man notices something different, something about her essence, the way she carries herself, thinks, or reacts to the world, he separates himself from the rest. Telling a woman, "You have a unique way about you, I like that," is a statement that lingers in her mind. It makes her pause, curious about what exactly you see in her. Instead of giving her an answer immediately, you leave her with a question, an invitation for her to wonder. This compliment shifts the focus away from her appearance and onto her presence, mannerisms, and energy. It tells her you are paying attention to something deeper beyond the surface, and that is powerful. Women want to be seen, not just for their beauty, but for the subtleties that make them who they are. Maybe it is how she tilts her head when deep in thought. It could be the passion in her voice when she talks about something she loves. It could be her ability to hold her ground in a conversation, or how she carries herself with quiet confidence. Acknowledging these things makes her feel genuinely recognized, creating an emotional impact far more substantial than any superficial praise. The key to making this compliment work is in the delivery. It must be genuine, said with confidence, and paired with intense eye contact. A slight pause before saying it adds weight. A subtle smile creates intrigue. But most importantly, it must be backed by actual observation. If you say it without truly noticing something unique about her, she will sense the emptiness in your words. Authenticity differentiates between an unforgettable compliment and one fades into the background. Men who understand the psychology of attraction know that women are drawn to those who make them feel different, unique, and valued beyond their looks. When you show that you see her in a way others do not, she starts seeing you in a way she has not seen other men, and from that moment on, she will remember you. Phrase 2. I like women who know what they want. When asked what they look for in a woman, most men instinctively list qualities they think will make them seem desirable: kindness, beauty, intelligence, loyalty. But by doing this, they subtly place themselves in a position of seeking approval, as if hoping that the woman listening will measure up. They fail to realize that attraction is not about impressing women, but about setting a standard that invites the right ones to step forward. A man who understands this does not list traits as if filling out a checklist. Instead, he frames his expectations in a way that naturally shifts the dynamic in his favor. One simplest yet most effective way to do this is by saying, "I like women who know what they want." This phrase is powerful because it does not seek validation. It establishes a boundary. Instead of chasing, it invites. Instead of trying to please, it sets a challenge. It forces a woman to pause and reflect, not on whether the man meets her standards, but whether she meets his. The beauty of this approach lies in its subtlety. It is not arrogant, not aggressive, but it exudes quiet confidence. A man who says this and means it is a man who knows his worth. Women are naturally drawn to men who embody mental, emotional, and psychological strength. A man who knows what he wants is attractive, but a man who expects the same clarity from others becomes irresistible. Confidence, after all, is not about seeking constant reassurance, but standing firm in one's values and choices. By stating a preference for decisive women, a man communicates that he does not entertain uncertainty, does not waste time on hesitation, and does not allow indecisiveness to dictate his relationships. The impact of this approach becomes even more profound in practice. When a woman asks, "What do you look for in a woman?" and hears, "I like women who know what they want," a shift occurs. Suddenly she is assessing the man before her and evaluating herself. She begins to wonder, do I fit that description? Am I the kind of woman he is talking about? This subtle shift is what changes the game. Instead of positioning himself as someone trying to gain her interest, he becomes someone whose interest must be earned. The key to making this work lies in delivery. A man who uses this phrase must do so with calm certainty. No nervous energy, no eagerness to elaborate, no attempt to justify. The more he explains, the more he weakens the effect. A confident man lets his words stand independently, leaving space for the woman to process and respond. Some will lean in, eager to prove they belong in his world. Others will hesitate, unsure if they measure up. Either way, he maintains the upper hand, not by manipulation, but by knowing his values and refusing to settle for less. In a world where most men seek approval, the rare man who sets the standard commands attention. The moment a man stops trying to be chosen and starts choosing the game changes. Women take notice, respect deepens, attraction follows. Because at the core of every meaningful relationship is a fundamental truth: people value what they must earn. Phrase 3. That's what I like most about you. Most men believe compliments should center around beauty, tossing words like "you're gorgeous" or "you look amazing." While these statements may be appreciated, they often blend into the background, lost among the dozens of similar remarks she has heard before. What truly captures a woman's attention is a compliment that goes deeper, acknowledging something unique about her personality, passions, or how she carries herself. When you say, "That's what I like most about you," followed by a sincere observation, you create an emotional connection that stands out. This phrase works by shifting the focus from the superficial to something more meaningful. Just like men, women want to be seen for more than their looks. When you highlight a specific trait, her kindness, her enthusiasm when speaking about a topic she loves, or how she makes people feel comfortable, you authentically reinforce her self-worth. She begins to associate you with the sense of being understood and valued. The psychological impact of this is powerful. Studies show that people crave validation for qualities in which they take pride. When you recognize a trait she considers an essential part of her identity, you create an instant emotional imprint. However, the key to making this work is authenticity. A forced or exaggerated compliment falls flat, but a well-timed, genuine remark can linger in her mind long after the conversation ends. Perhaps she shares an idea passionately, and you respond, "How you talk about this is truly inspiring." Maybe she handles a difficult situation gracefully, and you acknowledge, Your ability to stay calm under pressure is something I admire. These compliments work because they make her feel special in a way that depends not on external beauty, but on who she is at her core. She sees you differently when she realizes you notice qualities others overlook. You're no longer just another man giving her surface-level attention. You become someone who understands her, someone whose opinion carries weight. This emotional bond triggers a more profound attraction, beyond the fleeting excitement of physical chemistry. Women remember men who make them feel seen in a way others don't. A well-placed compliment, rooted in genuine appreciation, can strengthen attraction and build a deeper level of connection. The beauty of this approach is that it cannot be easily replicated. Any man can tell her she's beautiful, but only a man who pays attention can highlight the nuances of her personality in a way that feels personal and real. This is why the most meaningful compliments are not rehearsed, but are a direct reflection of who she is. If you genuinely observe her and take a moment to appreciate the little things that make her unique, you won't need to think about what to say. It will come naturally, and when it does, it will leave an impression she won't forget. Phrase 4. I don't think you're ready for me yet. Women are drawn to mystery. They are intrigued by what they cannot fully grasp, what seems just out of reach, and what challenges them in ways they do not expect. A man who subtly implies that he is not so easily won over creates a dynamic that ignites curiosity. It forces her to pause, question, and wonder what makes him so different. When you say, "I don't think you're ready for me yet," with a confident, playful tone, you are not rejecting her. Instead, you are positioning yourself as someone of value who cannot be taken for granted. This phrase works because it plays on two psychological triggers that are deeply ingrained in human nature. First, the fear of loss. The moment she hears those words, her mind begins to race. Wait, why wouldn't I be ready for him? What does he have that I might not be able to handle? In that instant, she shifts from assessing whether you are good enough for her to wonder whether she is good enough for you. A subtle but powerful shift in perception makes her invest more in the interaction. The second trigger is the allure of scarcity. People always desire what seems exclusive, what is not immediately available, and what they must work for. If something or someone appears too easy to obtain, its value diminishes. You elevate your worth in her eyes by implying you are not easily won over. The key to using this phrase effectively is delivery, confidence without arrogance. A slight smirk, relaxed body language, and a playful tone make the statement feel like a challenge rather than a dismissal. The best moments to use it are when she displays confidence or tries to assert control over the interaction. If she says, "I always get what I want," you respond, "Interesting, but I don't think you're ready for me yet." Then you let the statement hang. There was no immediate explanation, no attempt to clarify. Let her reaction unfold naturally. The silence that follows is where the magic happens. A man who understands the power of mystery does not seek validation. He does not over-explain, does not rush to prove himself, and does not make it too easy for a woman to win his attention. Instead, he plants a seed of curiosity and allows it to grow in her mind. The more she wonders about him, the more invested she becomes. The dynamic shifts the moment a woman needs to prove herself to you. She starts chasing, questioning, and seeing you as someone of higher value. Asexuality starts inside you, and seeing you as someone of higher value, that is when real attraction takes hold. Not through desperation or excessive effort, but through the quiet power of being a man who knows his worth and lets others rise to meet his standards. Phrase 5. I don't know if you can handle me. Confidence and playfulness are two of the most potent forces in attraction. A man who understands how to weave these elements into a conversation creates an irresistible dynamic that shifts the balance of power and makes him the prize. Women don't want something that comes too easy. They crave excitement, unpredictability, and a challenge that keeps them engaged. A simple phrase like, I don't know if you can handle me, taps into this psychological trigger, making her pause for a moment, intrigued. It's an invitation, a test, and a tease simultaneously. She suddenly finds herself wondering, what makes him so unique? What is it about him that requires handling? Am I up for the challenge? The brilliance of this phrase lies in its ability to reframe the interaction subtly. Instead of the typical dynamic where a man is proving his worth, vying for attention or seeking validation, it reverses the roles. Now, she is the one who feels the need to prove herself. Instead of asking for her approval, you are indirectly prompting her to convince you that she is worth your time. This kind of power shift is subtle but profound, tapping into the psychology of attraction in a way many men overlook. However, like all powerful tools in attraction, delivery is everything. The wrong tone, too serious, too arrogant, or too forced, can turn what should be a playful exchange into an awkward moment. The key is effortless confidence. It should come with a smirk, a casual tone, and a natural rhythm within the conversation. The best moments to use it are when she playfully boasts about something, her confidence, ability to handle difficult situations, or even her adventurous nature. For example, her, I can handle anything. You, I don't know if you can handle me. This simple exchange creates an immediate spark. It introduces an element of fun while subtly positioning you as someone with a unique presence who isn't easily impressed. Women are drawn to men who exude an air of mystery, don't lay all their cards on the table right away, and carry themselves with self-assured ease. Attraction isn't just about looks or status, it's about the energy a man brings into an interaction. Interest fades quickly when a conversation is predictable or a man appears too eager to please, but he becomes far more engaging when he adds layers of mystery, playfulness, and a hint of challenge. This phrase accomplishes that effortlessly, setting a flirtatious, exciting tone that intrigues her. In a world where most men are either too passive or too aggressive in their approach, the man who walks the fine line between confidence and playfulness stands out. He understands that attraction is a dance, not a sales pitch. He knows that a woman doesn't want a man who seeks validation. She wants a man who gives her something to chase. And when he knows how to make her feel she has something to prove subtly, he becomes the one she can't stop thinking about. Phrase 6. I'm not that easy. Most men make the mistake of being too available, eager, and quick to seek approval. They believe they will win a woman's affection by constantly showing interest, responding instantly to messages, or always being agreeable. But in reality, the opposite is true. Women are not drawn to what comes easily. They are drawn to challenge, mystery, to a man who does not immediately fold under the weight of their beauty or attention. A man who carries himself with quiet confidence and does not seek validation subtly signals that he is not easily won over. This man intrigues her and lingers in her mind long after the conversation ends. When a woman teases or tests you, she subconsciously assesses your strength. She wants to know if you are solid, if you can hold your ground, and if you are different from the countless men who crumble at the first sign of flirtation. Responding with phrases like, "I'm not that easy," instantly shifts the dynamic. It tells her that you see your value, that you do not seek her approval, and that she will have to earn her place in your world. This subtle pushback creates tension. the kind that keeps attraction alive. It makes her curious, makes her wonder, and makes her want to know more. She is used to men who chase, but now she finds herself in the unfamiliar position of working for your attention. How you deliver this phrase is just as important as the words themselves. A confident smile, a relaxed posture, and a calm, steady tone communicate that you are entirely in control. There is no nervousness, no hesitation, no neediness. If she asks, "What do I need to do?" respond with, "Maybe I'll tell you someday." Keep her guessing. Keep the mystery alive. A woman's greatest fear in attraction is boredom. When a man is too predictable, too manageable to figure out, too eager to please, she loses interest. But when he remains slightly out of reach, somewhat unpredictable and slightly challenging, he becomes the one she can't stop thinking about. This is not about arrogance or playing games. It is about self-respect. A man who knows his worth does not throw himself at every opportunity for validation. He does not give his attention freely to anyone who asks for it. He chooses carefully, moves deliberately, and never makes a woman the center of his world. Instead, he builds a life so fulfilling and exciting that a woman naturally wants to be part of it. She does not want to be his purpose. She wants to be invited into the adventure he is already living. Women do not truly desire a man who bends backward to please them. They want a man they have to work for. A man who, in his presence, makes them feel a mix of excitement and uncertainty. A man who makes them feel as though they have found something rare, something valuable, something not easily replaced. When you become that man, you never have to chase again, because the moment she realizes you are not that easy is when she starts chasing you. Mastering attraction isn't about memorizing a set of lines. It's about understanding the deeper psychology behind words and how they influence emotions. These 6 phrases aren't just clever remarks. They are tools that subtly shift the dynamic in your favor, making your interactions more engaging, memorable, and powerful. When delivered with confidence, playfulness, and authenticity, they set you apart from the countless men who rely on generic compliments and predictable approach. But here's the key: words alone aren't enough. Your tone, body language, and mindset are crucial in receiving these phrases. A confident man doesn't seek validation. He naturally commands attention through his presence, self-assurance, and ability to create intrigue. When you communicate with emotional control and certainty, you instantly become more attractive because you show that you don't need anyone's approval to feel secure in yourself. Attraction is more than what you say, how you make someone feel. When a woman senses that you are different and carries yourself with quiet confidence and a touch of mystery, she instinctively leans in, wanting to know more. She will wonder what makes you so self-assured, why you don't seek her approval, and what it would take to win you over. That curiosity is what separates a forgettable interaction from a truly magnetic one. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever used these phrases or similar strategies in your conversations? Which approaches have worked best for you? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. I read everyone. And if you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on more insights into attraction, confidence, and self-improvement. Keep leveling up, and I'll see you in the next one.